Hello and welcome to the 5th episode of Waxing Philosophic. Thank you for tuning in. Today we have Grace Brackett on the podcast. You might notice a bit of a quality drop for this episode. That is only because my guest could not meet in person. We did it over Zoom, but don't worry, it's a great interview. She is the founder of WonderPrints.net, and I was interviewing her for a class here at Clemson University, and I just thought that I'd turn that interview into a podcast episode. So you will see me taking some notes during the interview. That's just for the class. I'm not trying to be rude to my guest, obviously. But go check out wonderprints.net. And without further ado, this is my interview with Grace Brackett. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Grace, for coming on such short notice. Do you want to just explain what your business is and how you got it started?
Yeah, so my business is WonderPrints. So WonderPrints sells custom QR code decals, both for individuals and small businesses is who we're focusing towards. These have tons of uses. I've got one on the back of my phone, like you can see.
Yeah.
These are durable, these are waterproof. They've got tons of uses. And so, yeah, very versatile. It started actually over the summer. So it's 2020 now. It started before my junior year, which is where I'm at. And me and my sister were just at home over the summer brainstorming. I had always wanted to start a business. I've always had like that entrepreneurial fire.
Yeah.
And my sister and I love stickers. And I said, how can we make this different? How can we get into such a saturated market? And I kind of came up with this.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. Your brand is so unique. I was on your website earlier. It's so cool. Like you have the Rickroll sticker. That's my favorite. And the DVD bouncing around. That's another one that I really love. That's so cool.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, we try to be creative, fun, like find fun sites for like individuals. And well, I did build my own website. We're also like launching on Etsy to kind of get that traction too.
Yeah.
So it like for the fun stickers, like we'll have Etsy, but then of course we're taking custom orders for businesses as well.
Yeah. So that's really cool. That you have those two ways of marketing, like serious marketing for small businesses. And then do you want to Rickroll your friends?
Yeah, exactly.
That's so cool. All right. What problem were you trying to solve?
Yeah. So with QR codes, like I'm talking more in the sense of small businesses because, in a sense, stickers are fun. But for the small business aspect, a lot of small businesses haven't really caught on to utilizing QR codes in the way that I believe they should.
Mm-hmm.
They're quick, fast, easy way to get to customers, whether that be more traffic to your website or like online menus for restaurants. And so big chains took this up during COVID, but small businesses like they don't really know about this yet. So I'm trying to get into that market and kind of solve that for them.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so cool. That's really cool. So were you a entrepreneurial major before you started this business, or did you start to want to be that kind of major, that emphasis after you started the business and then realized this might be something that I want to do long term?
Yeah. So I actually started out here at Clemson as sorry about the noise in the background, by the way.
You're good.
I started out as an econ major.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to double major in political science because I thought I wanted to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
Here we are, not being a lawyer and an econ major. So I'm doing management with an entrepreneurship focus.
Mm-hmm.
I hated econ and I was like, this is my chance. Like, I'm going to start a business. I'm going to do management because that's versatile. It's applicable, and then I'm going to do the entrepreneurship focus so I can kind of get that foundation.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool. Question 3. What, if any, work experience did you have prior to starting, and how was it useful or how is it inadequate in managing your startup?
Sure. Yeah. So, you've got odd end jobs in high school, but I was a hostess for a couple years, and that's huge in customer service. So just that was helpful, but then, the summer before college started, this was in the middle of COVID. Actually had an internship with a small telecommunications company called Balsam West. doing like accounting and sales stuff for them. So I was looking at all of their vendor records, doing, customer analyzation, or excuse me, competitor analyzation, um, looking at their customers, looking at the daily processes of like invoices, all that stuff. And I continued that the next summer, which was honestly really helpful. Just like, because you can take a huge startup or a huge business and intern there and be meaningless to them, but I was a
Yeah.
really huge help at this small company, and so you get to learn a lot. So I think that really helped me, and that kind of gave me the push, because I was like, what's stopping me?
Yeah, exactly. That's so cool to hear that story. I've never had like an internship like that, so I have like no context of what accounting even looks like at a small business like that. So it's really cool that you have that experience already under your belt. You already know like the structure of that. That's really cool.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah. Thank you.
yeah.
It was cool. Like, and you get to know everyone in the whole company. There's like 60 employees total, and like some of
Hmm.
them work remote. And so like everyone who came in the office, them by name. They'd say hi to you. Like, you would be working on actual work, not getting coffee or anything. So
Yeah.
um yeah, just got to use those connections and kind of get out there.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, I envy you in that. That's really cool.
Thank you.
So what challenges did you experience? And more importantly, I guess, how did you overcome them?
Yeah, the biggest one was fear. Like, to be completely
Hmm.
honest, I thought that starting a company was only for people that knew everything about like investing. They had, helped out with startups before, and
Hmm.
like all of this stuff, and it was only for adults with like master's degree. And I knew that wasn't true, but I was just still so scared.
Yeah.
Um, so it started over the summer. I'm gonna do this. Like,
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm
You're
doing
you're
this.
breaking up a little
Um,
bit. If you just go back just like a few seconds. I'm sorry, you broke up for a minute
no,
there.
no, that's fine. Yes, but over the summer, and decided I was gonna start my own um anytime if I'm still breaking up.
Yeah, you're still breaking up. I think if you turn off your video, it might help
Sure.
some.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So the summer, I just kind of hopped on that wagon and said, I'm going to do it. Decided to build my own website.
Hmm.
And the name WonderPrints was born. And we kind of played around with the idea, spent a lot of time doing research, how to start a business, all this kind of stuff. And when I began doing that internship this past summer, um, it was full time, of course. And so it just took up so much of my time. And
Yeah.
WonderPrints kind of fell on the back burner.
Hmm.
So I really didn't touch it for a couple months. And then I was like, you know what, Grace, like you can't just like not see this through. Like, you've had other business ideas. You got to like see this through to the end.
Yeah.
And so I said, starting, like, I'm here by myself. What's stopping me? In an internship where I essentially get paid to work on this business. So there really was nothing stopping me. And so then come September, you know,
Oh, I'm sorry. You're
got the
breaking up
website up.
again. So sorry about that. That's probably my fault.
No, absolutely. No, that's totally fine.
And,
Um, where do I need to go back to?
since September.
Yeah, so September came around. I was, doing a lot of research. I ordered and finally incorporated at the end of September.
Incorporated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's an LLC,
Hmm.
just, to keep everything separate. A lot of small business owners do the same thing.
Yeah.
Um, but it was a long road from start to finish, and so fear was a huge thing. I it, advise same shoes who's like a student entrepreneur or someone, that's just recently graduated, like, they're really, and this is the perfect time to hop on the wagon, because you don't have kids, you don't have debt, or what you mean, you don't have to pay off that debt yet, you don't have a real job.
Yeah. Yeah. You did break up a little bit, but I got the gist. I think, yeah. So
I'm so sorry. I feel awful that I'm cutting up for you, but I will do my best to fill in.
no, it's so fine. I mean, like it cut out a little bit, but most of what you were saying was coming through. So I think it just cut out a few words or so. Um, let's see, question 5. Okay, what experience or skills do you recommend other entrepreneurs to obtain prior to launching a new business?
Um, so this is advice on skills and knowledge.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Um, you definitely skills, you need to be able to talk to people. Communication is key. While some businesses, especially in 2021, are online based and you've got apps and you've got, online programs, that's great because you can kind of do all of the marketing behind a screen. But for my business, like I have to talk to people. I have to pass out business cards. I've got to show people, why they need my product.
Yeah.
And so talking to people is huge. Also, um, I would say just the ability to sell yourself to people,
Mm-hmm.
and that goes hand in hand with being able to talk to people, but just being able to say like what your product is, why people need it in a very concise manner is super crucial, because I know so many people that have fantastic ideas, but they can't communicate it clearly, and
Mm-hmm.
they lose people along the way. And yeah, so you need to be able to be very succinct, very concise, and very clear, and very professional.
Yeah, that's a huge like burden that I'm having because I'm trying to start my own business and I buy like magic cards in bulk and sell them
Right.
individually. And for someone who doesn't know like the Magic the Gathering card game market or any card game market, it's extremely hard to like say this little piece of cardboard is worth $40 to someone while this little piece of cardboard is only worth 10 cents. And they just
Yeah.
like it makes their brain explode and there's like what are you even talking about? Where does this value even come from? And
Mhm.
I have a hard time with that, especially. So that I've never heard it put in so many words, but yeah, that's really good.
I
Yeah,
think also building off of that, like you can never do too much research. I know even myself, I love to jump the gun. I love to just be spontaneous, make commitments. And that's not always smart. Like you can seriously never do enough research.
yeah,
And so even if you have no skills in like your particular field, like you can learn and you can research. And I had no clue how to start a business, but you just read and you read and you read and you talk to people and you will get there. So it really is all about just learning and researching and talking to people.
yeah, for sure. Networking. Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's what we talk about in my business 1010 class now. It's like you've got to learn how to network. Like I know how to talk to people, but what's the difference between that and networking? And I guess it's just the level of professionalism.
Yeah. Well, so with networking, I would say you can talk to people all day long about the weather, about food, about whatnot. But I think what's so crucial about networking is like actually building that connection, putting a name to a face. And a lot of times is like getting that contact information, like taking that next step, saying, oh, here's my card, or oh, I'd love to get coffee sometime, and like building that connection.
Yeah, yeah, that's really, really good advice. We have one more question, I believe.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to anyone considering an entrepreneurial career? Don't know how that differs from the last one, but just
No,
any
no,
general
yeah.
advice.
Well, I'll take this from the perspective of like being a student and not even talking about networking or business skills or all that kind of stuff. Just like as a person, I feel like it's okay to be scared, and it's okay to not know what you're getting yourself into 100%. My biggest piece of advice is just be flexible, be willing to change, and never give up. Like, seriously, I know so many small business owners like myself, um, that they don't give up, and they just, they haven't had consistent sales, or like, you know, they're in a place where like the market isn't big for their product yet. And so just don't give up, be flexible.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I think that was all very helpful. Thank you so much for your perspective. I really appreciate it. And thank you for doing this on such short notice again.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for your time too. This has been so fun.
Yeah. Well, any closing remarks, anything that you'd like to just say to my audience of, I think, 6 people now. So you're talking to 6 people. This is a
Yeah,
lot of pressure. I don't mean to
absolutely.
scare you or anything.
To the wonderful 6 listeners, like I said, whatever you're doing, don't give up, keep grinding. It'll all work out in the end.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time again. I'll let you get back to, you said you were working right now, right?
Yes.
So yeah, I'll let you get back to that. Thanks again.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks for listening to this episode. Really appreciate it. I think we had a great interview. And go check out WonderPrints.net. Can't emphasize it enough. It is such a cool website. If you have a small business you want to promote, or you just want some fun stickers to rickroll your friends, they have other things too. Go visit WonderPrints.net. And thanks again to Grace Brackett. Can't thank her enough. Great interview. Great session. Thank you all for listening, and I'll see y'all back next time.